Trump's first year in office set us down a really dark path. What's the antidote to these dark times? A bold agenda. Here's what President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris can do on day one. Instead of appointing an anti-public school billionaire who lets for-profit colleges prey on students, a Biden-Harris administration can appoint a public school teacher as Secretary of Education, and that person can cancel billions in student loan debt for tens of millions of Americans. Instead of sabotaging our healthcare system and catering to giant corporations, a Biden-Harris administration on day one can lower drug prices for millions of Americans by using existing law to allow the government to produce key drugs at low cost. Instead of a Labor Department asleep at the wheel, letting billion-dollar corporations mislead the public about safety while COVID ravages their workplaces, a Biden-Harris administration can issue enforceable OSHA safety and health standards so that giant companies don't escape accountability for conditions that expose workers to serious illness. And a Biden-Harris administration can raise the minimum wage for all federal contractors to $15 an hour. Instead of selling off our public lands to oil, gas, and coal industries and failing to lead in the fight against climate change, a Biden-Harris administration can declare the climate crisis a national emergency so that they can start marshaling the resources toward addressing this challenge. And instead of ignoring the disproportionate harm of the COVID-19 crisis in Black and brown communities, a Biden-Harris administration can center racial equity in our solutions by collecting data and reviewing racial disparities in funding. Instead of letting a handful of corporate giants become even more powerful, a Biden-Harris administration can restore balance and competition by prioritizing strong anti-monopoly protection and enforcement. And instead of inviting lobbyists and a bunch of industry loyalists into his cabinet, a Biden-Harris administration can issue the strongest ethics and anti-corruption standards for executive branch personnel ever. Now that we won, even though we have a sore loser on our hands,
we will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it.
It's time to enact change, because right now, we can't just walk away from this corrupt, swampy administration. We have to run away. A timid agenda that further entrenches the wealthy and well-connected will lead us to more division, more anger, more inequality, and an even bigger hole to climb out of. To turn the page on this dark time in our democracy, Democrats need to deliver bold solutions for the American people.